Welcome to the Lee Michaels Show with Carol and your daily cast of characters, where we discuss the issues of the day, entertainment news, what's really going on in Washington, and the world. Why don't we just hear it from the horse's mouth himself?
We can't have someone in the Oval Office who doesn't understand the meaning of the word confidential or classified. I don't think it's safe to be briefed on national security because the word will get out. I know at some point they're going to be calling, they're going to want to brief me, but I'm not a talker about this stuff. This is like Watergate, only it's worse. Because here, our foreign enemies were in a position to hack our most sensitive national security secrets.
Wow. Of course, it turns out the Russians didn't need to hack Hillary's email server. They were able to hack Trump's mouth.
This is like Watergate, only it's worse.
The Lee Michaels Show on the Power of Voices Radio Network.
Welcome to the show. It is the Lee Michaels Show with Carol and the cast of characters. Thank you for joining us today. It is Wednesday, middle of the week. They call it Hump Day. And the world is still humping along. In some places in the world, limping, having real issues, dealing with the problems we have in the world. But we're going to make it. I got faith. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up hope in saying that there's no way we're going to make it through this crazy that's going on. With two fires in California, the remaining effects of the hurricanes, numerous hurricanes, and the season isn't over yet. Natural disasters we have no control over. We just have to man up and deal with them. And my prayers continue to go out to all of those who have been affected by fires, flooding, catastrophic storms, and all the other things that go along with it that we've experienced over the past few months. And on top of that, we have a dysfunctional administration that's limping along, doing shit that has nothing to do with fixing the problems. Just 2 days ago, my daughter Sarah down in Richmond, Texas, who had about 9 inches of water in her home, the FEMA inspector finally showed up. And as I suspected, she found out because she asked, she says, why did it take you guys so long? Well, we just don't have enough inspectors. See? I bet you 50, 60,000 homes were affected down there in Texas alone. Not to mention Florida, Louisiana, Georgia, South Carolina, and other states and cities that were affected by, if nothing else, the rain. And some wind and some flooding. So all of these things impact on our lives. And we have no control over them. But when the government says, have no fear, we're here, we'll make it right for you. Sometimes it's not at any cost to the consumer, the residents of this country. Sometimes there is cost. If you don't have flood insurance and earthquake insurance, fire insurance, and all those kind of things to cover the damage, FEMA doesn't necessarily come in and give you a check to say, hey, here, go ahead and fix your house up. But they'll give you temporary, housing and maybe food and stuff like that to help you along. So it's a complicated process. So again, we pray for all of those who are affected, and the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, and the other islands that have nothing to do with the United States of America. Some of those little islands were just completely devastated. Everything destroyed. Damn near 100%. We don't hear anything about them. But those are human beings that have blood running through their veins and the same issues that we have. So if you get an opportunity and you're in a position to help, donate some monies. And I don't necessarily advocate donating through the American Red Cross. While that is probably one that's been around and is somewhat stable, not enough of the money that you donate goes to the cause. I've been told between 16 and 20%. So between 16 and 20 cents on every dollar that you give actually go to the people that are affected by whatever the problem is. Hurricanes, flooding, whatever it is, fires. While they now I'm working with a group called Pass the Love. And we'll be talking more about that in the next day or so. We're going to have some of the key members of the organization. It's a charitable organization that does a number of things. And their heart is in the right place, and that's what I like. And 100% of the dollars that they receive go to the proceeds go to whatever the cause is, whether it's to help people in the Virgin Islands or Puerto Rico, Houston, Florida, wherever. You'll know that the majority of your dollars will go to helping people. And with that, let me bring in the cast of characters, and Carol is here today. Welcome back, Carol.
Oh, good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, you were out on assignment yesterday?
I'm not going to lie, I just didn't feel like coming.
Oh, damn.
No,
wow.
I had a refrigerator guy coming, but they came real early, and I go, I'm not going to go in today.
No?
They don't need me.
Oh,
but I want to
always
say,
need you.
Frankie, I hope you're feeling better today, because she's very close to those fires up north.
Yeah. Yeah.
And another thing I want to say, because I didn't know how to post this on Lee's page, I know a lot of you know Andre Morgan, and Andre's very sick right now. I tried to talk to him last night. He can't really talk, but he can listen, and he gets excited. But he's got pancreas cancer, and I think he has a really bad infection now that's hit in his side of his stomach. But I believe he's at hospital. Understands you.
Yeah.
Because I was teasing him about all his Facebook messages, because I miss those. Because, Andre just sits there all day, and you get one after another message.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I miss that. And I know a lot of you would have to know him.
Absolutely. Anybody
Very
that's
good
been
friend
in the
of my family's.
record business for the last 30 years or better, and especially here on the West Coast would know Andre Morgan. Really nice guy.
Well, I think he was more on the East Coast.
Oh,
More
I
like
met him here.
Georgia and, well, he went all over.
Yeah, yeah.
He lives out in California now with his wife.
Yeah. I met him, I'm pretty sure, back in the 70s here in California.
I don't think he lived here, though, because my sister dated him.
Oh, come on.
For years.
TMI. No, we don't want
Well,
to
I'm
go
not
there.
doing no TMI. I'm just saying he moved here when he married his
Yeah.
wife that he's
Well,
married
how long
to
ago was
now.
it?
I don't know how long they've been married, but I know he lived more on the East Coast, I thought. I don't think it was here. He used to be here a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's doing
But
his
that's
job.
neither
That's
here
why I
nor
met
there.
him.
Anybody that knows him,
Yeah.
you could probably reach out to his Facebook and that. I talked to his stepson last night, and he puts him on the phone.
Good.
But he can't really talk.
Yeah.
He tries, but he knows everything you're saying. His
Good.
face lights up, and that his
Yeah.
son said.
Yeah.
So,
Well, good. Those who have his personal contact information, reach out to Andre Morgan. That's what we're talking about. He's suffering from cancer. He's in hospice. And let's all pray for him. Good brother. Real good guy. And also, let me give my condolences to another radio legend. So many of my friends who've been in the business as long as I and longer, moving on, going to the big radio station in the sky. And Alvin John Waples has made his transition. He worked here in L.A., St. Louis, down in the Carolinas, Washington, D.C., and other places down south. I think he might have worked in New Orleans as well. But a really fun guy. I worked with him in D.C., knew about him before I got a chance to work with him. And what a legend. and a real entertainer on the radio, a real radio guy. So farewell, my brother. And now you're up there with the other greats, legends in radio. Keep popping that mic like you used to. Alvin John Waples, farewell, farewell, farewell. Let me welcome to the show Chris Bass. What's up?
Hey, what's up? Boom shakalaka. How you doing, Lee? How you doing, Carol?
Good.
Doing all right.
And in the spirit of Carol, I didn't want to be here either. But I did show up, so I figured, what the hell,
Yeah.
Yesterday I had a refrigerator guy come in, and they usually don't show up.
On
I had
time,
it from
yeah.
8 to 12, and he showed up right at 8. And then I thought, I've been working so much, Chris. I thought, I don't want to go to you guys do okay
Yeah,
without
she put her
me.
feet in the refrigerator and chilled.
No, actually, I didn't. I was very busy.
She was chilling.
I
Yeah,
didn't plan on being busy, but I was.
Yeah.
And I'm working today. I'm leaving early.
Well, such is life, things come up and you got to do what you got to do.
Well, I have to make a living.
Well, you
I'm
do.
that's married, and there's 2 incomes. There's one.
There you go. Miss
So you have to work very hard.
That's right. You make it do what it do.
Right. Well, let me
Hey,
acknowledge.
Chris,
Hang on, let me just get this out of the way here. John Morris is in some of my old friends, and I regret that you don't reach out often enough to touch base with your friends and colleagues in the business, whatever business you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all going to go there. So get ready. Be ready.
Can I ask
Yeah.
Chris this question? When I seen that, have you
Well,
seen that
it's-
on the news?
Yeah, I've seen bits and pieces of, they show certain segments on various newscasts, and you should be sick about it because, look, anytime you see certain rogue police officers, knowing they have vest cams and dash cams, and still continue what they do with no fear whatsoever, then it just gives people, hey, I got the right to do this. And people who are recorded and know they're being recorded, whether you're a part of the law enforcement or not, and you're still doing wrong, what kind of mentality is that? What kind of ego is that to say, no, I'm so big and bad, I'm going to make sure this is recorded, and I don't give a damn. And they're doing wrong.
Oh, they were beating him with what they were using, not just stick something. But can you believe
Right.
they put a warrant? This was in what I can't say, Charlottesville or
Charlottesville?
Can you
Charlottesville,
believe
yeah.
it that they put a warrant out for his arrest? He's turned himself
Yeah, I believe
in.
it.
How are
Yeah.
you arresting him for defending himself? And I mean, people are so angry over this.
Well,
I just sent you the video on it,
Absolutely.
Lee.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll take
Chris.
a look at it again.
they probably arrested him based on the claims from the
Well,
people that
that's
whipped
what
his
I
butt.
just said. The
Yeah.
white guy
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
well, he hit us. But
now, he
they
has-
have videos showing this group of white guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was horrible when they did this because I remember seeing pictures where his head was split open. And now they're trying to. It's making me scared because it's showing me how racist this world is getting. I mean, the KKK is going around leaving things on people's cars now at football games, telling them to join them. Somebody even put up the letter they're sending it to. It's just frightening to me right now, all the hate.
Yeah.
This man is not guilty of nothing. He's guilty of being beat up. And if he did hit at one of them, he was trying to defend himself. So what, we can't defend ourselves now?
No, but you got to stand up for the flag, so don't forget that.
Oh.
Right.
That's why when Eminem rapped, that was amazing.
Yeah, you know what?
I sent that to you.
Yeah,
I just sent it to you.
Oh, okay. I have not seen that, but I've heard the
I sent it to you.
the fallout from it. So, what do you guys know about? What did he say exactly?
He rapped about what the things with Trump, what's going on.
Okay.
I just sent it to you, the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up.
I thought that's
So
a
did he-
very interesting thing to listen to him rap.
Did he do a rap? He actually made a song?
Yes, he
Okay.
rapped. But remember now, if you go back in history with Eminem, he's always did that, though. It isn't nothing new with him. Remember, he's always did raps to talk about something, somebody. He's known for that, but a lot of people were against this, but probably the racist people, the Trump followers.
Of course. You know,
But you know,
because
he
it's
was
painful
right.
to hear the truth. And the truth is not what they want to hear. You know?
No, they don't want to hear it. It just, I have clients and few friends that are just big Trump followers. They just think it's amazing. I have a friend that's a hairdresser, and she's from Iran. And Trump made that statement, I think it was, all poor people, if they can't get a job or they can't have food stamps. And she was in there. I'm all for it. I came back at her. I said, even with jobs, they can't afford to feed their families or pay their rents the way rents have went. I told her, maybe people like you should go back to a country where you have dictators, since that's how you want our country run. Because that's how I felt with what she was saying. I just thought it was very wrong. People can't afford it. $15 an hour don't support you, not in California.
No, it's very tough, especially in places like L.A., San Francisco, Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, the major top
Well, even
10
Utah's
cities.
going up and around. My friends, my sisters told me.
Because people are moving into those
Atlanta's
areas.
went up.
Yeah. And it's more affordable than it is here. And then as you move into these areas, it's all about supply and demand. The landlords will say, well, shit, people are coming in here and taking $750 rent. I can move it up to $850, $950. And nobody complains because they're coming away from places that are $3,000 a month.
Well, it isn't even just that. Now they're in Inglewood buying up all the property.
Oh, yeah.
So you can imagine what those are going to go up to.
Absolutely.
All areas. Well, they did that in New York when they bought up Harlem.
Yeah. When the new stadium is near complete and everything, the prices are going to go through the roof.
Oh, they are.
It's already happening.
I have friends that own houses there, and they're going to make a fortune off those houses.
Yeah.
Because you see where that's where people are moving. Where a guy on my page is trying to buy a house on Adams now, one of those big mansions. But that's kind of been turning for years now.
Where's Adams?
Adams Boulevard. If you go down Crenshaw, you'll run into Adams. If you're going
across Crenshaw?
If you're going north,
yeah,
and you make a right, you'll be on Adams.
Okay, that's right. Runs towards downtown, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I got it.
Big, huge places, historical-looking places, but they're buying them all. That area's basically already been bought up. Windsor hit. Eminem
video. I want to play that. We'll probably get in trouble, but fudge it.
Why? It's a TV show. You're not going in YouTube to get it.
Well, I'm getting it from wherever you send it to me from. I don't know where it came from, but it's. Come on, play. Well, play for me. Let's figure this out. Yeah, I'm anxious to hear what he actually said. I've been reading all the posts and responses to it, but I haven't heard the actual audio.
Yeah, it's very powerful, and it obviously makes a statement. So this was aired on BET's Hip Hop Awards last night, and what he unveiled was called The Storm. It was a 4.5-minute freestyle that he recorded Friday at inside of a Detroit parking garage.
Impromptu kind of hit it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very sweet.
I got the article there.
Oh, yeah, good. I mean, well, for those of people who understand where Eminem was coming from, another thing that he did, which I thought was very brave of him, he pretty much drew a line for his listeners or followers who say, if you support Trump, then I don't have nothing else to do with you.
Right. Screw you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the damn link to play it.
You want me to go in there? Maybe Chris can. We can find it somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm at it took me
I had it
a link
somewhere
took me
else.
to CNN.
I had it a couple places online.
Unleash verbal. Let's see. Click on this link. See, we're here. If that
there's
takes us
so much going on right now. Like this woman, since we're talking about news, why would you sit there? And I have a video on that. I think I sent you guys. You can hear her little girl begging her not to put the live lobster in the water. She's begging her mom. She goes, it was a baby. And she does this to her child. She does drop it, and you hear the child. Why would you do this to a little kid if she's begging you not to do this?
Wait a minute.
Why did you do it in front of her?
What? She begged her not to do what?
The little girl's crying and begging her mother not to. You know how people, because I won't eat lobster, they drop it in live.
Right.
Well, I think that's horrible. So she's got the little girl, and she thinks this is funny. And the little girl's in the background, and you hear her crying, begging her mom not to. I thought that was wrong. Why would you do this to your child? Why, if you wanted to do this to the lobster, you shouldn't have videotaped and had your daughter sitting there watching. And I mean, there's a lot of controversy over this because it's not right.
Well, you know, it's you can definitely say that it was poor judgment on the
very poor judgment
on the behalf of the parent. You know, I mean, if you see your child being traumatized by whatever, cooking something or whatever you're doing, then you should yield to that, I think. That's my opinion.
Well, she videotaped it. It was funny to her. Yeah, well, I had a roommate once, and I loved it when this happened. He didn't know which end to put in, and that he got burnt all over his face. I loved it. Because you can hear that lobster scream. I can't eat lobster.
Well,
I guess because I'm one of these people, I don't like to see anything tortured.
But do you like any other type of food?
I basically only I eat a fish called swai, and I eat salmon.
Well, don't you think they go through a little trauma?
I don't think they put them in boiling hot water. I've never seen anybody put a whole salmon in boiling hot water.
Yeah.
Alive. I've told you, I have walked on the things at the beach, and I've seen fishermen just throw the fish sitting down on the ground, and the fish is tossing, and I've walked by and picked the fish up and threw them back in the water. I didn't care if they liked it. At least kill the fish. You don't have to sit and let them torture. No, they actually didn't get mad, because most of the guys that do fish on the pier, they're not doing it to eat them. Yeah. They do throw them back in.
Okay.
They just do it like it's a sport. I have noticed that a lot.
You've been swimming with the fishes if you'd done that to my catch.
I don't
You've
think
been
so.
backstroking.
I've done it numerous times, and none of them have ever got mad at me.
I'm just saying, as long as I'm standing out there on that pier catching
You know what?
Fish,
I don't have fear.
I'll throw you overboard.
I really don't.
Get
Tighten up on your backstroke.
I have no fear, believe me.
I know.
I walk with
You
something.
can swim, right?
No, it has nothing to do with that. You're not going to get me in the water.
Well, I'm just asking a question. Do you swim?
No, I don't.
Well, then you're going to have problems.
No, I'm not. I'm really not.
You throw my salmon, my catch, whatever it is.
They don't catch salmon off the pier. And
whatever it is.
They have signs that tell you do not eat the fish there because they're poisonous, a lot of them.
Shit, I wouldn't be fishing there.
There's big signs telling you that. And with the thing
I'm
with
not
Japan,
a sports fisherman.
With Japan, they don't know what's in that water that's floated this way.
Yeah,
now.
I'm not a sports fisherman. When I go fishing, I'm going to catch to eat.
Well, the ones that do that get on that big ship, that boat that goes out, and they catch marlin and all that.
Yeah.
But the ones that usually sit on the side, most of them don't even catch nothing all day. It's a way to get out of the house away from your wife.
Yeah, well, that too. But I've gone fishing down in Florida, in the Everglades, and ponds, lakes, and what have you with my buddy Andre.
Get down, he'll just gas his plane up and fly.
Oh, shut up. Wait. Don't start rapping yet. Hold on. And we would catch big mouth bass and weigh them, take pictures, and put them back. Now, the bluegills, or the sunfish, and some of the others that we caught, we did not throw them. That's eating. Now, you are allowed to catch a certain number of big mouth bass in Florida and keep, I don't know what the number is, might be 1 or 2, but we put them all back, especially that 10-pounder I caught. And it really kind of a fluke because I wasn't doing well. Andre, and he's left and right, and I'm going, you jackass, you lucky sucker. We talking fish man, shit on the boat. So I just threw my line over the side of the boat. I didn't cast it out or anything because I was trying to get it untangled. And lo and behold, I got hit by this 10-pounder, and I thought he was going to turn the boat over. 10-pound big mouth bass. And Andre said, man, that wasn't 10 pounds. It was like 7 pounds. I said, you lying dog. I weighed him. It was 10.2 pounds. The biggest catch of the day. From the amateur freshwater fisherman. Me.
How you like that?
Yeah. That's right. So there you go. What's up,
Good
Shaggy?
Stuff, man.
Yeah. Jackie Hasselrig, Well, I worked with her in Chicago.
Man, yeah. Jackie Hasselrig, yeah. WGCR back in the day.
Absolutely. Philip just checked in, and Douglas. Let's see. Gloria's in there. Uh-oh. Like we lost. You still there, Chris? Yeah, his line dropped. Call back. Let's see. We got Earl Zipperl, Gloria Newbern, Marcus A. Johnson. You doesn't have to call me Mr. Johnson. You can call me Ray J. Okay, I will stop. And Dennis, the wild man from New York, stuck in Portsmouth, Virginia. He's trapped. He can't get back to Brooklyn to save his life. They don't want him back anymore. Yep. Okay, I got the Eminem video here. It's dated 10/6/17, Detroit, Michigan. Eminem. Let's listen to this. Okay, I'll set that up nicely, and then the damn thing won't play. Oh, come on. Come on! What are you doing to me? All right, let's try it like this. Okay. It's just not my day. Technology is kicking my royal ass today. See, it played on its own. Now I want it to play, and it won't. This is Carol's fault. She did it. All right, let me refresh the browser here and see if that'll do it.
Well, should we talk about Weinstein, what's going on?
Sure.
You know, they act like this is new, you know, with him being caught
well, I think it's,
doing sexual assault, but this isn't new. I've been to clients' houses where they'll insist that I go to bed with their husband.
What?
Yeah, I've had that happen many times, and I've ignored it. I've had clients where my client, and we're talking filthy rich people. I had a particular client, I would come and she'd purposely have all her clothes off. And I would tell her, you got to put your clothes on. So, you know, it's not new what's going on because Weinstein's wife was my client for a long time.
Wow.
Beautiful woman. Now, and I never really met him, but hairdressers I sent there said he was mean. But he has checked himself into a rehab. He admits he has a sex problem. He's not denying it. She's leaving him right now because of the kids, but I have a feeling if he can heal himself, she'll probably go back with him.
Do you think she knew?
But I'm sure she knew something. I don't know how she couldn't know. She's a lot younger than him. Probably one of the most striking women you'll ever see. And I don't say that about, I do say that about a lot of women.
You know, listen.
But he isn't the only one. There's a whole lot of those freaks.
Of course. There's no doubt about
even
that.
Cosby should admit to what he's done because we've had the casting couches for years. And
yeah, that's nothing.
It used to be even when you were a model, they would because I have daughters that are models, they would try to make your daughters be with some of the singers and that wanted to take them out. I know somebody that worked on somebody's video. I'm not going to name his name. And she was very young. And she did his video with him. But when she got done, after 3 days, he sent the makeup person in to tell her he wanted her brought to his trailer. And she told him no. He took that video and wouldn't use it and made another one in one day.
Oh, well.
Like, she could care less. She still got paid.
Well, there you go.
So, see, this isn't new.
No, it isn't. It's been going on forever. And the only thing I can say about all of it is, listen, if you don't stand up and push back, then you're part of the problem. You allow someone to take the advantage of you. Listen, I have been in situations where I was not willing to compromise my beliefs, my moral beliefs, just for a job. I just wouldn't do it. I didn't believe in what they were trying to do. So in order to stop this, it's twofold. It's just like, you know, the example you just gave. They said no. And that's how you're going to stop.
Then they think they're hurting you. But there was an actor last night. He's that real funny black guy. He's really funny. He came on and he said him and his wife had went to a party and this big shot came up and grabbed him in his crotch, grabbed his penis. He said him and his wife, thought about it, and he goes, I'm 240 pounds. If I had hit him, he basically, and he's black, would have been the one at wrong. So he said they left there. But he said, this doesn't just happen to women. And it's not just men that sexually do this. Because I know somebody right now that's all over the news. And she's very big at doing that. She'll hire young girls and end up making them go to bed with her and her husband. And she's done that for a long time.
Really?
Tried it only once with me, and it was like, oh, honey, no way. I don't like either of you, and I definitely don't like women.
Does she pay?
No, they think they're paying you because they're famous. That's how they think they're paying you. Like, a pussy's a pussy, way, you know what I'm saying?
No pay, no play.
Don't sit in my face with this stuff. And, it's like sexual harassment is out of control now. It's gotten to where men, it's like some of the things that are said to me. Now, another woman might turn around and say, well, they sexually harass me. But I'm not one of those kind of women that think like that.
Yeah.
But you have women, they'll work for you, and you might say, oh, I like that short skirt you're wearing. And next thing you know, she's got you in court. So
that's true.
It works many different ways.
Absolutely.
Many different
you
ways.
have to be alert and on your P's and Q's and listen well and respond appropriately. But if you grab my Johnson, I'm knocking your punk ass out.
Yeah, but he was right when he said he didn't. He didn't name who the big honcho was.
Yeah, well.
But calm before the storm right here. Wait, how was I gonna start this off? I forgot. Oh, yeah. That's an awfully hot coffee pot. Should I drop it on Donald Trump? Probably not, but that's all I got till I come up with a solid. Got a plan and now I got a hatchet like a damn Apache with a tomahawk. I'ma walk inside a mosque on Ramadan and say a prayer that every time talks, she gets a I'ma stop. But we better give Obama props, cause what we got in office now's a kamikaze that'll probably cause a nuclear holocaust. And while the drama pops and he waits for shit to quiet down, he'll just gas his plane up and fly around till the bombing stops. Intensity's heightened, tensions are rising. Trump, when it comes to giving a shit, you're stingy as I am. Except when it comes to having the balls to go against me, you hide them. Cause you don't got the nuts like an empty asylum. Racism's the only thing he's fantastic for. Cause that's how he gets his rocks off and he's orange. Yeah, sick tan. That's why he wants us to disband, cause he cannot withstand the fact we're not afraid of Trump walking on eggshells. I came to stomp. That's why he keeps screaming, drain the swamp, cause he's in quicksand. It's like we take a step forwards, then backwards. But this is his form of distraction. Plus he gets an enormous reaction when he attacks the NFL, so we focus on that and instead of talking Puerto Rico with gun reform for Nevada, all these horrible tragedies, and he's bored and would rather cause a Twitter storm with the Packers. Then says he wants to lower our taxes. Then who's gonna pay for his extravagant trips back and forth with his fam to his golf resorts and his mansions? Same shit that he tormented Hillary for and he slandered, then does it more. From his endorsement of banning support for the Klansmen, tiki torches in hand for the soldier that's black and comes home from Iraq and is still told to go back to Africa, fork and a dagger in this racist 94-year-old grandpa who keeps ignoring our past historical deplorable factors. Now if you're a black athlete, you're a spoiled little brat for trying to use your platform or your stature to try to give those a voice who don't have one. He says you're spitting in the face of vets who fought for us, you bastards. Unless you're a POW who's tortured and battered, cause to him you're zeros cause he don't like his war heroes captured. That's not disrespecting the military. That. This is for Colin. Ball up a fist. And keep that shit balled. like Donald the bitch. He's gonna get rid of all immigrants. He's gonna build that thing up taller than this. Well, if he does build it, I hope it's rock solid with bricks. Cause like him in politics, I'm using all of his tricks. Cause I'm throwing that piece of shit against the wall till it sticks. And any fan of mine who's a supporter of his, I'm drawing in the sand a line. You're either for or against. And if you can't decide who you like more in your split on who you should stand beside, I'll do it for you with this. You. The rest of America, stand up. We love our military and we love our country, but we hate Trump!
Wow. That's pretty clear, as to what his message is all about there. Let me bring the camera back around. Eminem, ladies and gentlemen, freestyling in a parking garage in Detroit, laying it down. No softball there. None whatsoever. Chris, what's your thoughts on that?
I thought it was refreshing. I think that he has the pulse of what a lot of people think about 45, the ones that do. And when you look at the news, the back-to-back stories that are becoming very tragic, when once again our president or somebody's president should be focusing on North Korea, should be focusing on healthcare, but yet he wants to have these petty battles with NFL owners and players, ESPN anchors, or things that get under his skin because he's a very petty man. Mm-hmm. And I think what Eminem said pretty much is revolting of the anger that a lot of us do feel when it comes to this man. And I think because he was extemporizing, it just made it more raw.
Do you think it'll make a difference?
I liked it. It might. I mean, you never know who's watching or listening, and that could be the one person or persons that can go help and affect change. So you just never know. You have to put it out there and see who responds. Of course, you have your naysayers, and how dare you say that? That's go along with the territory anyway. But the ones who receive the message may be jolted or maybe revitalized to go out and do something. You never know.
Yeah. Well, I hope that the message is heard and received in the right spirit. Certainly among his fans. Now, I wonder about the fallout, and because he said if you're not with what he's talking about, and if you voted for Trump, F you.
Right.
And you know what? That to me shows great courage, because there are going to be some of his fans that disagrees with him for whatever reasons.
Right.
Maybe they are Trump supporters, but they love Eminem. That's a risk that he chose to take. Correct. And I have to respect and say, hey, right on, man. You drew the line in the sand and you're standing up and staying true to what you believe in. And that's the same thing that Colin did. And it's the same thing that other ball players have done by taking a knee. But see, the powers that be, and he laid it out very clearly, don't want you to have that freedom. They don't, listen, I'm paying you, boy. Right. You cannot stand up against the establishment. You can't have an opinion like that.
How dare you?
How dare you? How many millions of dollars am I paying you a year? You my bitch. I own you. And that's what right. And that's what we're dealing with. So it's a different form of slavery. I'm paying you now, but you got to do what I got to. You got to do what's good for me. And if Jerry Jones and all the rest of the ball club owners allow this president to dictate to them, then you know what? They're big criminals as well. They are succumbing to the pressure from the president of the United States, and it's illegal what he's doing. Correct. Now, we've been saying for more than 2 weeks on this show what the president has been doing calling on private industry, telling them to fire people for whatever reasons because it's not what he wants them to do, is illegal. And it's punishable by great fines and up to 15 years in jail. And the president's office, the person who's in that office, is not exempt from that. It specifically says in this law, congressional members, the executive, and I believe the judicial as well, cannot do that. That's protection for the people.
Correct.
And we have to realize and understand that. And Colin Kaepernick woke up a lot of people that did not know the history of the Star-Spangled Banner.
That's true.
Okay? It was edited, modified to give it a softball. But see, he is an educated person. He obviously read that somewhere. He was exposed to the real Francis Scott Key writing.
Yes.
So, folks, don't be afraid of the truth. Embrace it, understand it, respect it. But you can't have your own truth. You can't put a spin on whatever you want to put it on and make it comfortable for you. That's not the way it works. You can think about it, but you can't change the truth. You can't turn it into a lie. You can't make it something that it isn't. Accept it, embrace it, and move on. And let's figure out how to get along as a human race and stop allowing all these divisions. But we first must have a conversation and embrace the truth. Sometimes the truth is a little painful, especially when you've been led to believe something that is fake.
Right.
Let it go. Exhale. It's going to get better because when more people are embracing the truth, the faster we'll get to a peaceful world. Not just the United States, but world. And we're faced with some real serious shit between Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Syria, Iran, North Korea. I got to throw Russia in there. Absolutely.
Right.
Chinese. We're walking on eggshells all around us. There's no true path. There's no clarity. There's no safe zone for anybody in the world right now. Now, listen, I lived through the missile crisis when we were having issues with Russia and Cuba. I was a kid in Norfolk, Virginia, looking up at the sky every night, fearful that rockets may be coming in from Cuba or out in the ocean from the Russian ships. It was fearful. But fortunately, we had a calm, cool head as the President of the United States, John F. Kennedy, who worked through that tenuous situation without dropping a bomb, without receiving a bomb, and we worked through that. I'm not sure that we have a calm, cool, collected president who treats Twitter as his big stick, like a bully in a schoolyard. That is very different, and I don't think it's very effective. It's keeping people on the edge. Every day when I talk to my co-host here, Carol, she's a nervous wreck because of what's going on. You're concerned.
No, I'm not nervous. I'm really not. I'm depressed. I don't like seeing this, but I'm not nervous.
You.
I worry more about my family.
Well, that's because of that.
It affects everybody right now.
Of course.
It's like everything that was predicted seems to be coming true.
Well,
with all these fires, everything. But no, I'm not a nervous wreck. I wouldn't be able to work if I was.
Well, it's affecting you.
No, it isn't.
Carol, you said it did.
It affects me in different ways because I don't like seeing all this hate and that. It bothers me.
in their right mind,
But I'm
wants
not
to see it.
letting it affect my everyday life. I go to work and I walk for a reason, because when I walk, I take all the things that bother me, and it's like I walk alone for that reason. It's almost like meditating. I take and I try to get it all out of me, and then I feel fine.
Sure.
But I'm sure you're affected from it a lot.
I'm concerned.
No, you're probably real nervous too over it.
I wouldn't say that I'm real nervous. I'm concerned, and I'm totally in tune and being alert to the rhetoric that comes out of everybody's mouth. And then I try to process that information and try to put some calm, some collected thought, and move on with my life, because it ain't a damn thing we can do anyway.
Probably kind of like me when I said I walk and I get it all out of me.
Yeah. Hey, hello to Chris Cox. Thanks for joining us today. What's up with you? Yeah, but I think that's what we all have to do. Some people can process this type of situation better than others. And I suspect that the guy that shot up all the people in Las Vegas, something drove him to that. He just didn't wake up one day and say, I want to go target practice out here at this country concert and just blow up some people. Something. There was a trigger somewhere that set him off. And we may never know unless he had a conversation with someone that gave some kind of inkling, or maybe they find something in his computer or computers or cell phone that will give them an indication that something, someone, some situation that upset him, and he was responding to that. Mm-hmm. You never know what drives someone to that breaking point.
Well, it leaves you wonder, too, that she went back to the Philippines and money was sent there, because the three gentlemen, well, I'm not going to call them gentlemen, the three crazy guys in New York, one of them was from the Philippines that was getting ready to do something with Times Square, the subway and concert that they caught. And one of them was, and I didn't realize that ISIS is in the Philippines too.
Oh, they're everywhere.
So it leaves you wondering. It seems like it was very thought out, his plans. It wasn't no spur of the moment like they're trying to say he mentally lost at that moment. That's bull, because the security guard was shot way before he started shooting into that crowd.
Oh, I thought it was after.
No,
and that's what stopped him.
I thought it said that he was shot before he started shooting in the crowd. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I thought it said. So they're trying to figure out in that space of time what took the police so long. He had things set up where he could see in the hallway and that.
Yeah, he had cameras out there. No, this was premeditated. It was well planned. He started buying an arsenal of guns almost a year earlier. So, I mean, come on. You don't have to be, a rocket scientist to figure out that this guy had a plan. Maybe until the very end, he didn't know exactly where he was going to pop this off, but certainly he had a plan. He went to Chicago. Well, he booked a room in Chicago. I don't think he ever moved into it.
Correct.
And then he went to another music festival. He didn't do anything there. So was this a warm-up act? Was this, let me go check it out to see if it works? But apparently he felt very comfortable with the one there in Vegas. It gave him the opportunity to do what he did. And it could have been worse.
And you're right, it could have been worse. Or maybe like here in Chicago at the Blackstone Hotel, which he had booked the room for during the Lollapalooza event on the weekend back in August, or other places he's probably targeted. Maybe they could have been, quote-unquote, dress rehearsals or test runs.
Sure.
That he was obviously plotting.
Now, was it the Blackstone Hotel?
The Blackstone Hotel.
Is that on Michigan?
Correct. It's on Michigan.
Right there at the park?
Right. And
how close is that to the the band stage there?
That would probably be, I would say, well, so here in downtown, it would probably be like, I don't know, about maybe 4 or 5 blocks over.
Okay. See, that was not a good spot for him. That wouldn't work for him because of this. There are a lot of trees there in the park.
He
trees, probably couldn't get a clear shot on the crowd because where the stage is set up, it's kind of at an angle there on between Michigan and Lakeshore Drive.
Yeah.
So it probably wouldn't have been a good opportunity for him to do the mass killing that he performed there in Vegas. Vegas was a clear shot across the street.
Yeah, it was.
They were saying, what, a couple hundred yards away?
Well, they said if he could have, the bullet would have went through those propane tanks or whatever.
Yeah.
It would have been worse.
Yeah.
But the bullet didn't go all the way through it.
Exactly, because the caliber of bullet that he was using at that distance just could not penetrate the thickness of the wall of those propane tanks, thank God. But see, that would have caused a distraction. Everybody would have been focused in on that while he was popping off bullets into the crowd. So it could have been a lot worse. And if those tanks had exploded, the metal from those tanks would have gone into the crowd as well. Let me see. I'm trying to see what you're showing me here. Hotel guard.
I was showing you where the security guard was shot before he started shooting.
Okay.
Because some people tried to turn around, I guess, probably because he was Latin, and say, oh, I think he was an accomplice.
No, yeah.
You know, he had cameras going out to that hallway.
Yeah.
People are lucky he didn't shoot through the walls or whatever, because that was a sick person.
Yeah.
But I don't care what they say. I got into an argument again with a person. They go, he's not a terrorist, he's mental. I go, anybody that would kill somebody has a little mental problems, but he is a terrorist.
Yeah, he terrorized the nation.
Quit making up excuses that he had some, he was upset. You know, terrorists come in all colors, people.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're not a certain religion, and they're not a certain color.
It wasn't like he just had a very bad day. I mean, come on now. I mean, I can't stand it when people try to explain away something, and you can't.
Right.
It is what it is. And the more you ignore it, the more it's going to be a problem. And let me say this real quick. Going back to Lee, what you said earlier about Colin Kaepernick and the verse that is missing during the anthem, you have to do your research. You have to. For example, I was reminded when you were saying that about the children's rhyme, and now it's completely incorrect, but when it was called 10 Little Indians, that a lot of us heard growing up, but originally it was called 10 Little N-Words.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Right, and it was written by Agatha Christie.
Well, did you see that journalists make up that story that that football player came to him and said, if they'll let me play on a football team, I'll stand. He never said that to anybody. That was made up.
That was Colin Kaepernick, yes. Well, what it was an interview on CBS Sports, and they made that part up. You're right, but it was Colin Kaepernick, and they claimed that he had said that during the interview, and I thought it was real because it came, for example, Lee knows about this more so than I do because we're both in radio. Associated Press, AP, had come out with that story, and I looked at it, and I thought it was a real story. Come to find out that the source was wrong.
Yeah. That happens.
It was fabricated and made up.
Sure. Even the major outlets can get it wrong. I think we have another caller on the line. Hello, who's there?
Spy Boy.
Hey, Spy Boy, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. Good to hear from you. We were just talking about you last week as to how you might be at this point. Feeling all right?
I'm feeling pretty well.
Good. Are you working?
No.
Okay. You're not at that speed yet, huh?
No.
Okay. Spy Boy is a regular listener. Spy Boy has been following me around the country like a stalker. But he's been a loyal listener and viewer of the Lee Michaels show, even going back to the days of U.S. Talk Network, which started back in 2008. So
that's right.
He's family. We he's a nutball whack job, but he's family. We keep him around. It's got a good heart. It's just jacked up.
Let me spread some nutball whack job stuff here for you now.
Okay, go ahead.
Colin Kaepernick is an idiot.
Oh Lord, here we go.
Why is he an idiot?
Because nothing that he's protesting occurs. There is no injustice. There is no inequality.
Why? He's doing this because of racism. the racial
and
profiling. It has nothing to do with a lot of things, but that's why he's doing that. So I don't know how he would be wrong.
Is there a case that demonstrates?
I don't sound all the time.
Is there a case that demonstrates his point?
Yeah. His original reason for doing it is to bring attention to the police brutality. Cops shooting unarmed men and women all over this country. That was the original reason he did it. Now, is there anything wrong with that?
Yeah, it doesn't occur.
What do you mean it doesn't occur?
It doesn't occur.
What race are you?
The people who've been shot deserve to be shot.
Oh, please.
No, that child in the park up at, what was it, in Detroit?
Ohio.
With a toy pistol.
And a female black lawyer was just shot for no reason.
The cops jumped out of the cars within 2 seconds. They're shooting on a kid. And their excuse is, we thought it was an adult with a real gun.
Who had a gun?
It was a toy gun. There were never any shots fired.
They can't tell it. They can't tell that.
Well, then they shouldn't be cops. If they're that chicken shit and scared for their lives, they shouldn't go to the scene of a potential situation. The call that was made to the cops was incorrect. They jumped out. The video don't lie. We saw it. Come on, Spy Boy. That was a kid. That was somebody's child out there with a toy pistol with an orange cap on it to show that it was a toy pistol. Did they take the time? They are fully equipped. They've got bulletproof vests on. They've got PA systems. They've got firearms. They rolled up, jumped out, started shooting. Period. End. That's murder. That was a child.
They couldn't tell that he was a large kid with a gun in the park.
Again, if they're that chicken shit scared, they shouldn't be a cop. Everybody's not cut out for that type of work. And obviously, if I remember correctly, wasn't one, or if not both of them, were relatively new? There have been so many of these incidents, I may be getting confused.
Spy, do you have children?
No.
Oh. See, that's always my fear, is I have children. And my kids are minorities. My son's black, Japanese, Native American, and Russia. And my fear is, because there's been times he's left a video set, to go to a new location, and the cops pulled him over, stopped him for no reason. And these were Latin cops, which Latins don't like blacks in California, and blacks don't like Latins, I hate to say. And if other people, I had to correct that, he's right, some. If other people hadn't followed my son and stopped, they had called other cops. Who's to say what they would have did to my son? They ended up leaving him alone when they seen the other people. And he called at the time, he called my ex, who's a lawyer. What do I do? He was very scared. And I always tell my son, you get stopped, put your hands out the window. Don't reach for nothing. Put your hands out the window. Don't argue with them. So I think what you're saying is very wrong. They do kill people by color. And they did kill that little boy for no reason. If that was a white kid holding a play gun, they would have probably shot him in his feet or something. But they killed that kid.
That's one case. Do you have another one?
Yeah. What about the man that they choked to death in New York? He had no gun.
And all he was guilty of was he selling cigarettes or something.
So you come in.
What was he guilty of? He was trying to tell him he had asthma. You're killing me.
Bad example, I guess, huh?
It is a bad example because he was not complying to the police orders.
They had 3 or 4 or 5 guys on him.
He wasn't doing
that. Him on the ground.
He was asking them to stop.
He was on the ground.
He didn't deserve to be choked, and they even said
death.
that the thing about it was they put him in a legal chokehold. That chokehold was banned by the authorities in New York. That should never have happened.
He wasn't under the chokehold.
Again, my lion eyes fails me. Oh, come on, Spy Boy. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at police intervening in a criminal aspect here. They're coming to answer for a crime that's been committed.
Mm-hmm.
Just about every case you have, and you don't have that many cases.
There was over 250 such cases in a year. That's 250 people. What about the young man that was in, was it Minnesota, sitting in his car? He told the cops that he had a carry permit. He said, I have a sidearm.
Is that the one that had his little girl in the car? They have videos of her in the back seat of that police car, the little girl.
So he deserved to be shot to death as well.
He was reaching for his gun.
He wasn't. He was telling them he had a gun. You better look at that video again.
He was trying to get to the permit to show this cop that he had a legal carry.
And killed him in front of his child.
And
they put her in the police car, and there's a video showing the little girl telling her mother or something, you got to be quiet, because she's afraid they're going to shoot her too. This little kid, what was she, 4 or 5 years old?
Yeah.
Wow, what a great... Sorry, I can't agree with this.
And the girlfriend that was behind the wheel during this time must have been anointed by God, because how can you be that cool, calm and collected to talk to the officer that just shot your boyfriend? She was very respectable under the circumstances, asking the officer, why did you shoot him? And he was freaking out, meaning the officer.
Yeah, he was a nervous
wreck. He had no
wreck.
answer.
No.
Right.
He should not be a police officer, ever. Should have not been a police officer on that day, because he obviously did not have the mentality, the calm to deal with a situation like that. And quite frankly, where was the threat? In that whole video there, I never saw a threat to this cop's life, other than the man was being honest with him and told him, I have a permit for open carry. I have a weapon. He's doing everything that he's supposed to do. Inform the police officer that you have it. Now, there have been
an officer standing there told him not to reach for the gun.
He did not. He didn't. There was nowhere in that video.
Yeah, go back and watch the video. Yeah,
he did not.
Well, I'm sorry. If you go back and watch the video, you'll see something different.
Why don't you show the video?
Yeah.
So is that three, 4 cases, right?
Well, that's 3 right off the top of my head.
We don't go all day, give all these like 85 cases in one show. We only got another hour to go.
And you know what's funny? I come from Montana, and I'm telling you right now, I lived in a racist place. And because I'm Native American, I couldn't even tell you what a birthday party was, because I couldn't go in their houses. I used to sit and push my nose up, hoping it would be like their noses, like a ski jump. I would suck my lips in. I did everything hoping I could be them, because that's how they made me feel. When I came to California, I didn't want nobody to know I was Native American, because I thought, this is how all people think.
Yeah.
So don't sit here and act like there's no such thing as this racist crap. They used to pick me up and throw me in jail for no damn reason.
Because they could.
Yeah, they could. And they could kill my people and get away with it. It was no big deal. We weren't human to them. So anybody that goes to Montana, I let everybody know, if you're Jewish, Black, Native American, or Hispanic, stay the hell out of there, because they do not like you.
Yeah.
You divide that by the 330 million people in this country, and you won't get a percentage of 1%.
It's irrelevant when you start talking percentages. It's called loss of life for no good reason. Those 3 people I just gave you an example of did not deserve to die. But they only died because somebody did not have a cool head and could not reason and walk through what could have been a bad situation, but it was not. There were 4 or 5 guys wrestling the rather large man to the ground. They were choking him. Yeah, in New York, they were choking him. He said, "Hey, man, I can't breathe. Stop choking me." Did they? No. Was it necessary for them to continue to choke the guy, and there was 4 or 5 guys with knees in his back and holding him down? No. And see, the other problem, Spy Boy, there are other situations. I was watching a video the other night. There was a white mom and 2 white sons. They were having an issue, and I could never understand what the issue was with the cops, but they apparently had been drinking or maybe smoking some weed or doing some drugs. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, nobody was shot. They tased the mom. The 2 sons were being kind of boisterous with the cops and calling them names, even called a white cop the N-word. And nobody died. They handcuffed them, and, I'm assuming they arrested them. But nobody died. I've seen more crazy stuff coming from non-minorities that don't die. Mm-hmm. That's the problem, Spy Boy. So when you look at it and you try to balance and reason through these situations, you say, wait a minute, this guy was, okay, he was selling some loose cigarettes, trying to make a living to support his family, otherwise known as a pretty good guy, okay? Now, did he deserve to die for selling some cigarettes? No. Did he have a gun? No. Did he threaten the cops? No. Why did he have to be choked to death?
Because of the color of his skin. That's how they were thinking.
I could go on about
No,
the
you
politics.
need to look at the news more because you're missing something. And I'm not usually like I am right now, but you're missing something. Wake up.
If Garner had complied with the cops' request, he's been arrested, he's gone to jail, he'd be alive today.
What did he do? In the video that we saw,
arrest.
No, they jumped on the guy, man. No. He wasn't resisting anything. He was trying to he was trying to explain to them what was going on.
It's like I said earlier with
so
the
if you resist arrest, and you got 4 or 5 or 6 cops around you, you deserve to die. So Rodney King deserved the ass whipping that he got for speeding away from the cops.
Rodney King deserved the ass whipping for trying to get away from cops in the Hyundai.
He's Spy Boy, you stupid, you know that. That Hyundai was rocking. He was doing over 100 miles an hour. Okay, he didn't need no Maserati. Okay,
he just had that bad boy tuned up.
That's right. Hey, look, I said, damn, I better get one of those. That sucker bitch can run.
I'll tell you, he got an oil change too.
Yeah, exactly.
The story I told about Rodney King was that there were 3 other people in the car.
And?
Who didn't get beat.
No, because they wanted the driver. They wanted to make an example out of this guy. They beat the shit out of him, man. He looked like he had been through a war. And even he was under the influence of some kind of drugs or whatever it was. It doesn't matter. He didn't deserve to be beaten like a slave.
He didn't deserve to be beaten by anything, whether it's a slave or what. Nobody deserves to be beaten.
No, man. Come on. This is a new millennium, and everybody needs to be treated fairly. It takes a few seconds longer to reason through a situation, to get some facts and figures. Listen, I understand being a police officer is a tough job. It's not easy. It can go either way, and everybody wants to go home at the end of the day, including the victims of these unnecessary shootings, beatings, and chokings. Everybody wants to go home to their family. The cops don't have a license or a lock on that they're the only ones that need to have the right to go home. Hell, if I'm walking down the street or driving my Uber car, picking up people for Lyft or whatever, I don't deserve to be, mistreated and accused of some shit that I'm not doing. And I'm at 67 years old. If I get pulled over by a cop, I have to do some serious thinking to ensure that this cop doesn't take my life. It's a damn shame that I had to say to my sons, hey, man, look, be cool. Don't say anything out of line because they're looking for an excuse.
Right. Why is it a shame?
Now, do white parents have to say that to their children?
Yes.
I bet you most don't have to do it. They might now because they see it happening, because it's more in your face because of social media, because the media is now showing more of that. It's not like this just started either, by the way, folks. Understand that it's been going on forever, but we didn't have 300 million cell phones with cameras back in the day. And by the time a story was reported on, it was watered down because who owned the media? So it's being exposed now at a much higher level. And if the cell phones were not out there today that the man was choked to death in New York, or the man that was shot to death in front of his child and girlfriend in a car, or a kid playing in the park with a toy pistol, if there were no cell phones with cameras, the story would probably have never been seen or heard. Certainly would not have been seen.
So those three cases lead me back to what I said initially. Colin Kaepernick is an idiot. There's not epidemic there's no problems with the police.
What empirical data do you have to back up your claim? Now, I just gave you three cases that are more prominent in the news, okay, in the last couple of years. But you tell me what foundation, what information, what statistics do you have to claim that it's no big deal? And that's just three people that didn't comply with the law.
330 million people in the country.
That is correct.
These three cases don't add up to a hill of beans.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. What about the 58 people that were killed in Nevada and the 527 that were injured? That's no big deal?
And now they kind of want to kick them out of the hospital if they can't pay their bills.
Come on, Spy Boy, I'm listening. I hear crickets.
That is a distraction, Lee.
That's a distraction?
Yeah, that's a distraction. We're talking about Colin Kaepernick.
No. I just want to know what your feelings are about the loss of life of 58 people that went to a country concert to have a good time with family and friends that didn't go home that night, not alive, didn't go home ever. It's over, life done. That you okay with that?
No. That's a distraction. That had nothing to do with Colin Kaepernick.
It may. We don't know. Maybe this guy had lost his damn mind because of other injustice in this country.
I don't think it was Colin either, because why'd he kill all white people mainly? Seems like he would have. They said he was going to hit Chance the Rapper's concert. I just think he's the terrorist.
Oh, it's no question.
You know,
he terrorized those people and terrorized the minds of people all around this world that saw that news.
The thing of it is that we have police out here doing. They're put between us and the criminal element.
No question, and I respect the fact that they are willing to do that job. But what comes along with that job is being cool, calm, collected, and being concerned about the people that you're supposed to be protecting. Now, not everybody that they are confronted with are decent people. There are some criminals that they have to deal with. I get that.
Like Garner.
Garner. Okay. Minor misdemeanor shit for selling some cigarettes, man. You don't deserve to die for selling loose cigarettes. You don't deserve to die because you're playing in the park with a toy pistol. You don't deserve to die when you're telling the cop that I have a pistol, I have a permit to do open carry, and this punk ass cop overreacted and shot this man. What? Not once, but what? Several times?
Mm-hmm.
That's called, I intend to kill you. And that's what these cops are taught to do. Don't shoot to bust a cap in a guy's leg, arm, shoulder, but bust him in the heart. Kill him. Because you're supposed to be afraid that he may kill you. Now, granted, if you're faced with a guy with an automatic weapon, semi-automatic, or some high-powered handgun, yeah. And you told him to put the gun down and he didn't, okay. You gave him every opportunity. That's not complying in a tenuous situation. Bust a cap in his ass. I got that. I get that. But in these other cases, that was not the case. And that's what we can't lose focus over, man. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Give a person a chance to live. Don't just assume that they deserve to die.
And here's the thing, too. Whether it was Michael Brown or whether it was Trayvon Martin with, George Zimmerman.
Yeah.
When that situation happens, the officer or the person taking out or snuffing out the young or however age of the black man is always the following. Mostly police officers, I feared for my life.
Yeah.
That's usually the go-to phrase when they're interviewed or when they're taken off the case or put behind the desk or anything else or a paid leave.
That's the dog
That's usually
whistle.
the go-to thing.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So my point is, you are an officer. I'm not saying not all officers are like them. I'm saying just the rogue ones, the ones who are bad. I don't want anybody to get it twisted. The rogue officers out there who use this as a catalyst. First of all, you said earlier, Lee, about shoot to kill. That's obvious. Mm-hmm. And then to protect them in the organization of the law enforcement, I fear for my life.
Yeah.
So now, since you fear for your life, you have to be taken off the case and everything else. But my point is, if you constantly see this going on, there has to be a narrative that says, you know what, I have a license to do this if I'm a police officer.
That's right. Let me bring some other people into the conversation here. We got Alpha and we got Frankie on the line. Welcome to the show, guys. Alpha, I know you've been there a long time. Go ahead.
There we are.
I've been here chomping at the bit to get to this boy.
At the bit.
Let me put it like this. Spy Boy says there's only 3 cases. How about this, Spy Boy? When you run, you die. Walter Scott. When you stay and get arrested, you die. Freddie Gray. When you lay down while handcuffed, you die. Oscar Grant. When you fight back, you die. Trayvon Martin. When you mind your business, you die. John Crawford. When you put your hands up, you die. Mike Brown. When you proclaim innocence, you die. Eric Garner. Getting married, you die. Sean Bell. Sagging pants, you die. Irvin Edwards. Begging for your life, you die. Thaddeus McCarroll and Cedric Barty. Just alive at 12, you die. Tremarian Rice. Be outside, you die. Rakika Boyd, that's here in Chicago. Being at home chilling, you die. Katherine Johnson. Running into your home, you die. Ramarley Graham. Injured asking for help, you die. Jonathan Farrell. Being in the stairwell, you die. A key girlie. Now, you can say the man in Minnesota was reaching for his gun when he was reaching for his permit. But there was nothing that escalated that situation that punk cop feared for his life. Right. And for you to come on with your constant right-wing talk radio talking points is disingenuous. Not only should you turn in your black man's card if you ever had one, I don't think you ever had one, but you should really be ashamed of yourself as to what you are trying to do. You are nothing more than a troll.
But
with pernicious BS when it comes to the truth.
All right, before
Hey, Lee,
Frankie,
I wanted to ask his name. What's his name? Is his name Stupidity or Speedman?
Spy Boy.
What the hell's his name?
Spy
Boy.
Boy. Yeah.
Spy Boy, what do you do when a police officer pulls you over?
They don't pull him over. You got the cool
He's sick,
sign.
you guys.
I do what I'm told.
He's silent.
You say
Are you with
he
Trump?
does what he's
Is Trump
told.
sitting next to you?
But he always does that. ever since I've come across this man.
Oh.
He always does that. Goes to the ridiculous, and then when you put the facts, he is the biggest sufferer of cognitive dissonance than anybody I've ever seen. His stupidity is second to none.
Spy Boy, did you play football when you were young?
No, they didn't let me.
I didn't think so.
No. I was trying to find an excuse
on his head too much.
For your opinions, because I was thinking maybe you bumped your head or something and you just kind of had some brain damage from it. I'm looking for an excuse for you.
Listen.
Huh?
That list that Alpha just regurgitated.
Yeah.
Doesn't amount to 1% of the entire black community.
We're not talking about percentage. We're talking about people's lives.
I'm sorry, Alpha. How dare you talk about black people dying? Don't you understand where Spy Boy is coming from? You have to. I know you understand. I know you mean well. The list pains my heart, and it pains more people's heart. But Spy Boy makes a very interesting point.
It doesn't even come up to 1%, so it doesn't matter.
And what point is that? That he has no cognitive...
No, I wouldn't go. Well, I'm not going to go that far. I wouldn't go that far. But what it is, it's the following: as long as you are complying, for example, with the law enforcement, and do as they say, everything will be squeaky clean. Nothing will happen to you. Everything will be all right. Now, whatever world that is, I don't know anything about that world, me personally. But maybe in his world, you're right there. In your world, when you were pulled over, you was never pulled over for driving while black or anything along those lines. You ever thought that?
Never.
Have you ever been pulled over or confronted by a police officer?
Yes.
And for what reason?
For speeding. I've been engaged cops. I've been engaged cops because of an accident.
Okay.
I've been engaged a cop because I was lost one time. Okay.
You were lost, and how was that handled?
It was handled in a humane way.
Okay. So you got
I wasn't a threat to the cop.
You got a good cop.
I wasn't a threat to the cop.
In other words, you got lucky. You didn't get a guy that said, "What are you doing in this neighborhood? What do you mean you lost?" We got a report that there's a black man running around through the neighborhood, breaking into houses.
Spy Boy, do you know what cognitive dissonance is?
Maybe
explain it to me, Alpha.
Cognitive therapy.
Do you know what cognitive dissonance is?
Explain it to me.
Okay, I'm going to explain it to you. Now listen up. It's a mental conflict that occurs when beliefs or assumptions are contradicted by new information. The concept was introduced by a psychologist, Leon Furster. Now, most people seek to preserve their current understanding of the word by rejecting, explaining away, or avoiding new information, or by convincing themselves that no conflict really exists. Cognitive dissonance is nonetheless considered an explanation for attitude change. This is why people get upset when you challenge what they hold most closely. It's that simple, Spy Boy. You ought to go to the doctor and see about that.
They might have some medication for you, bro.
There's no doctor in the world.
Yeah.
He's done for.
Let's get back. Let's get back to Colin Kaepernick.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get back to Colin Kaepernick being an idiot. Let's go back to that. Go ahead.
There are 4 or 5 cases. There are a handful of cases. It don't add up to a hill of beans. To some of them.
Okay. Hey, hill of beans. Let me ask you this. You give us some examples of the opposite of that. So we gave some examples. You give us some examples.
I'll give you an example right there. You're sitting in the seat with him. You are gonna go home tonight this afternoon, this morning. No problem. To an Alpha.
What the hell is
To
that?
an Alpha flunky.
What is that, Spy Boy?
To a Lee.
I don't know what might happen.
All are gonna go.
We don't know.
Go home tonight. Trust me, I know.
Because we're going home, all of the other stuff is negated. It's irrelevant.
Okay, Spy Boy. Let me.
What's he talking about?
I don't know. Let me give you an example here.
His example is that we're all going home and we're going to make it home.
Well, there's no guarantee in that. Because listen. At 12:10 this afternoon Pacific time, I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to turn on my Lyft light on my dashboard, and I have my Uber sign in my window, and I'm going to go pick up somebody. But en route of picking someone up or dropping someone off, I may get stopped by a cop for whatever reason. Maybe I ran a red light. Maybe I turned right on the red and I should not have. Whatever the situation may be, I could break a traffic law. Okay? I could. That's a possibility. When I'm pulled over, I'm going to feel scared, okay? Intimidated. I'm going to have to say to myself, Lee, be cool. Okay? I shouldn't have to think that way. I should not have that kind of mental pressure on me because of the color of my skin. Okay? And most African American males, females as well, but mostly African American males have that same fear. And I've done nothing. Maybe I made a wrong turn or ran a red light or whatever. But I don't deserve to die over that. I didn't cause anybody any harm, any injuries, none of that. So I have to be fearful, not knowing what the attitude of the cop is going to be. It should be a constant engagement of respect on both sides. We don't have that from a number, and I'm not even going to say most, for a number of our cops. And the other problem with this, Spy Boy, and I'm going to let you come back and talk. The other problem with this is there are the bad cops that are on the police forces around the country have a grip on the good cops. The good cops are afraid to say anything because they will be penalized in promotions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they're all trying to stay on the force long enough to get their pension.
Serpico syndrome.
Okay? So now, your mic is on.
You'd better be fearful when the police pull you over, because they have the authority to kill you.
So you just validated everything I just said.
You know, Lee.
Because they have the authority does not mean that they should do it.
He say?
You better be good because they have the authority to kill you. That's his response. It's a nonsense response.
It's the truth.
Oh.
That's the truth.
And as Lee continues to try to appease him, or not appease him, but reason with him, he gets more unreasonable and more unreasonable.
No, Alpo, you can't reason with stupidity. You can't. So when he gets pulled over and gets shot, and we go to his funeral, we'll say, okay, you were right.
Nobody's going to his damn funeral. It'll be him. It'll be the first. It'll be just him and the body. Him in the casket with the
Spy Boy, you pissed off Alpha, man. But listen, if something were to happen to you, whether it was at the hands of a cop or not, I probably would try to come to your funeral down in New Orleans.
I would.
Yeah, down in Louisiana.
Yeah,
huh? You going to go down to Louisiana to his funeral?
Yeah, I'll rough it out.
I would go with you.
I'm just real about it. I've told him since I've met him on the phone, there's a tree with his name on it and a rope.
Stop it.
With his name on it.
Alpo!
Stop it.
And his love of the slave master will be his undoing. Pick up your papers of, what do they call it, meritorious manumission, Spy Boy. Pick up your papers for meritorious manumission.
Let's get back to Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick is on the job. He's in the uniform.
Yeah.
He's working for someone.
So?
He doesn't have a platform.
Bull.
He does not have a
Bull.
platform. That is not his platform.
Bull. He has a right to his First Amendment right prevails 24/7.
Right.
24/7.
He wasn't disrespecting the NFL, you moron. He was trying to make a stand.
He wasn't disrespecting the military or the flag. What he disrespected was police brutality and the murdering of black people.
He was trying to bring attention to that fact.
Oh, he brought attention to it.
He doesn't have a platform.
Okay, let me ask you. So
he had a platform.
Okay, let me ask. This is going to be my last question to you, Spy Boy. So I guess it's appropriate and reasonable for the President of the United States to call the NFL and I don't know how many owners he called, but we know he called Jerry Jones in Dallas and said, Jerry, if you and your players need, we're going to pull our advertising dollars from the NFL, and you guys really benefit from that, and I need you to be loyal to me here on this. And Jerry Jones said, okay, Mr. President, you got me by the kahunas here, and you're pulling on my little tweezer hairs here, and I'm feeling the pain. Okay, I'm going to succumb. I'm going to tell my boys that they cannot knee, they must stand, or they can't play. Did you know that it is illegal for the President of the United States or any member of Congress or federal judges to call a private industry and make those kind of commands, demands, whatever? It's punishable by a hefty fine and up to 15 years in jail. Your president has broken that law several times, and he's still your president. Are you cool with that?
I don't know that he did that.
You didn't expect that answer, man?
Oh,
you
Lord
didn't
have
already
mercy.
know that answer?
I did.
I mean,
I assume you think it's also okay for the president to tell his vice president to go get on a plane, spend $250,000, go to a football game, and when the boys start kneeling, you get up, you and your wife, get up and leave, come on back and do your thing. I assume you're in agreement with that as well.
Listen, none of that stuff really is relevant.
What do you mean it's not relevant?
It's not relevant. How is that relevant? The president did not call Jerry Jones to tell him to fire.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did call Jerry Jones. It's a fact. It's in the news. Oh, that's right. That's fake news, right? Jerry has even admitted that he had a conversation with the president.
And the stunt he pulled with the vice president is from a leak from the White House. My boy, you were just a troll. That's what you are. You're a troll.
You're sadly misinformed. And that's what I was talking about earlier. Well, he is, man. You cannot have
purpose. This is on purpose.
You mean you're trying to suggest that he woke up this morning purposely being stupid?
I'm trying to say, yeah. Well, he's been like that for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That way. He said, I'm stupid.
He said what?
He said, as he came out of the womb, he said, don't mess with me, I'm stupid.
Oh, yeah, well, that could be. Spy Boy, you know what? When you call, you always bring some crazy controversy, and it's good entertainment, and I'll call it good radio.
That's all he's trying to do.
I'm not done. I'm not done yet.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, you're done. You're done, brother. I don't even know you.
There's more. Done. There's more. For $19.95 free shipping, we'll throw in. What else are you going to throw in,
just
Spy Boy?
coming out of his mouth.
What else you got?
All right. It's not his platform to speak. He's on the job. He's not in the government. as a private company, as a private organization. He's speaking out of turn when he speaks in uniform.
Spy boy. Hold on, Alpha. Hold on, Alpha. But it's okay for the President of the United States to break a law and call private industry and dictate to them that if you don't get your boys, to stop kneeling, you need to fire them. That's okay.
If he did it.
He did
it.
I
guess it's not.
He did it.
He didn't.
Trust me when I tell you. I wouldn't make a claim of something that's not true. Okay? It's a proven fact. It's been validated, verified on both sides, from the White House as well as Jerry Jones. And I believe he also called the head of the NFL. Let me explain something. Did you know not until 1990 that the athletes come out of the locker room for the ceremony? They were still in the ceremony when the flag waving and the planes flying over and the whole national anthem. They came out after the fact. Why did they come out after that? Because millions of dollars was given to the NFL to do it, to amplify the whole spirit of America. And why? To drum up enlistment. They want American men and women to join the military. So they're trying to instill this whole American pride thing, which I'm fine with. I come from a family of former military men. My daddy performed in World War I, WW1. If he was alive today, he'd probably be 130 years old. I had two uncles that were in World War II. I had another uncle in the Korean War, a brother-in-law in the Vietnam War. I lost 12 of my buddies that I grew up with that were killed in Vietnam. I get it. I was born in a military town, Norfolk, Virginia. I was born in America. I'm an American. I'm an American first. I love my country. Don't want to live anywhere else. I don't want anybody to get it twisted that I'm some kind of damn communist or anti-American. I'm not. But I strongly believe in right and wrong. And I will fight for the rights for Americans and not be bullied, pushed around, and threatened by our government. We, the people, hire these people. We, the people, can vote them in. We, the people, can vote them out. And that's the message that a lot of Americans don't understand. And we cannot have rogue government doing crazy shit. We cannot have crazy police officers doing stuff that's illegal and criminal and taking lives from anybody. And I'm not talking about just black lives. I'm talking about life itself. And until these people understand, see, I firmly believe that racist people don't have to walk around with a hood over their head anymore. They can put on a police uniform. They can put on a judge's robe. They can put on a suit and tie and become congressional members and presidents. They remove the hood, put on a different suit, but doing the same bullshit. I'll give you the last word, Spy Boy.
That sounds irrational.
Of course it does.
It sounds irrational.
Of course.
I don't know any Ku Klux Klan in the judiciary.
You're not supposed to know it.
I don't know any racists.
You know it by their actions, Spy Boy.
And so what have they done today? If it's so prevalent.
I heard Spy Boy say if they were private, the football, the NFL, they're private. If they're private, why are they taking money from the taxpayers to build their stadiums? To help build their stadiums?
Because they can't.
Colin Kaepernick has every right. They what?
You keep giving it to them, Alpha.
Oh, I keep giving it to them. That is one of the most ridiculous, specious lines of bullshit that I've heard you say, Spy Boy.
Well, I just got some bad news, Lee.
She's writing a check.
What's the bad news?
They now are evacuating Calistoga.
That's up north, north of Petaluma and parts of what's in Sonoma County, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I live in the middle of all this.
Yeah,
so we've been getting all the smoke and.
I used to go up there for mud baths and wine.
Frankie,
Yeah.
get your shoes on and get in the car and get the hell out of there.
Get the stepping.
Yeah, I know. It's
go south,
pretty
young
bad.
lady.
No, actually, it's going away from us, Alpha.
No, it's going north.
The wind could change.
That's true.
Yeah, no, it looks like a nuclear war has hit the town. It's unreal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We have fires down here
the
Southern
fire
California
jumped
as well.
6 freeway lanes to get to an urban place. It's horrific.
And if the wind changes, it's going to jump on your ass. Get in the car and get out of there.
That's right. Like I told my daughter Sarah.
You don't know if the shifted wind or shifted a second.
That's right. Especially with fires.
And there's a lot of people missing, huh, Frankie?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're still.
They're working on their tan right now.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. People are missing up at that fire.
That's
you're right, Carol. There are people missing, unaccounted for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm just being realistic about it.
No,
you can count those
making
people
a
out.
joke of it.
No, it's not a joke. It's the truth. You've been missing in this type of calamity.
There was an older couple, huh, Frankie? They couldn't get out. What was he, 100 years old?
They couldn't get
Frankie?
75 years of marriage.
She
75
lives
years of
up
marriage.
there. And they couldn't get out.
Why?
Nope.
They were 100. One was 100 years old, and what was the wife? 90-something?
95.
But they said they wouldn't have
95.
lived if one had died because they were that close.
Well, then somebody should have taken the
you
leadership
couldn't get
role.
some of these people out. It moved that fast.
Lee,
that's sad.
Once that fire starts running that way,
they couldn't
with
get
that
out.
wind, you ain't going out and run it.
Nope.
Oh, I know.
Fire loves oxygen.
Been around it.
It's really.
Let me say hello
gotten
to
worse
some people who joined us early on. Slack Johnson, what's up? George Daniel. George, Mr. Music Man there in Chicago. Stephen Myers, my man from St. Louis. Lisa London, that's Chicago. Kyle. And, of course, Chella. Chella was in, I don't know if she's still there or not, but what's up, Chella? Chella. But Spy Boy, you know what? Listen, man, it's always good to hear from you, and I know you're dealing with your. It is.
Really?
It is.
What?
Spy Boy. You know, I'm gonna give him a pass because I know he's dealing with Parkinson's, and you know, sometimes those kind of diseases will affect your thinking.
Well, it's going to affect. It's kind of a hard disease to have.
Yeah, it is.
I'd be angry too.
Yeah.
Is he still? Are you still on, Spy Boy?
Yeah, he's there.
He didn't have a.
How are you feeling, Spy Boy?
What kind of disease does
He's
he
got
have?
Parkinson. He's very sick.
He's got Parkinson's, but when I met him, he didn't have it, and he was just as stupid then as he is now.
Maybe it was early stages and he didn't know it. Well, Spy Boy, let me ask you a question. Have you always been this kind of wacky?
Well, I've always been right.
You always been right? Okay. Well, yeah, I guess that answers that question.
He left off the word wing. Right wing.
Nutball whack job.
Right.
Now, we love you, man, but listen, I want you to take care of yourself, and I will continue to pray for you. And I'm gonna send Reverend Deacon Dr. Doug down there to put his hands on you and heal you, because you need to be healed.
Listen, I don't think so.
All right, Spy Boy.
You can't deny the truth.
Well, that's what we're trying to get you to do. To embrace the truth. Embrace the truth and it will set you free. Right now, brother, you're still confused because you're embracing the bovine. With that...
I've had run-ins with the cops before.
Say that again. We got a bad line here.
I've had run-ins with police before.
Yeah.
One of the last times I got pulled over, I looked in my mirror, and the police had his gun trained on me.
Didn't that make you a little nervous?
Hell yeah.
And how did you talk him down?
I did what he said.
And why did he feel compelled to pull the gun on you? What had you done to deserve to have a gun pointed at you?
Nothing. I think I slow rolled through the red light.
Okay.
Made a right turn on red.
So you feel you did nothing to deserve to have a gun pointed at your head, right?
Right.
Well, that's what we've been talking about, Spy Boy. The difference is you got lucky. You got a guy that had control of his faculties, and he did not overreact or plan to go out and kill somebody today, drop a gun in your car. So you got lucky.
So there are police out here that plan on, they leave home with the plans of killing somebody.
Absolutely. Why would a cop have an extra gun strapped to his ankle or somewhere on his person if he didn't plan to frame someone after he blows his shit out of them? Why would a cop do that or have access to maybe an unregistered gun to drop on the scene, which we've seen cops do on camera, but I guess we're not supposed to trust our lying eyes. Spy Boy, I can only say that you got lucky on that day when that cop had a gun drawn to your head and he decided not to kill you. He was one of the good cops. The question is, what did you do? What did he think that made him feel compelled to pull the gun out? Was it because of the color of your skin? I hope not. With that, Spy Boy, you have a wonderful day. We're going to continue to pray for you, and you're always welcome to call in, and Alpha will continue to abuse you. Because you
hey, Spy Boy,
you make it easy.
You be well.
Yeah.
He really does. But
Yeah.
you be well, Spy Boy. I hope you navigate through this health issue, but man.
I know.
Okay.
You would think he would have a moment of reality and say,
Clarity?
yeah. And
And if
say,
you see me in a bear fighting, help the bear.
Really? Wow. Spy Boy always leaves my mouth dry. And I try so hard.
I know.
I do. And I
know.
probably, the listeners are probably saying, Lee, just hang up on him. But, you know,
I was trying to tell you that, but you had me muted.
Yeah, but he's very entertaining.
yeah, I guess that's
Well,
what
I
it
don't
is.
think
He's
it's
sickening.
entertaining. I think he's giving his
He's
opinion.
sickening.
I
That's not
wonder,
his
though.
opinion.
It-
Well,
That's
that's-
not his opinion. That's
his opinion.
stupidity.
you think that's
There's a
real?
difference between
Well,
having
I
an
think
opinion and
that's
being
how
damn
he
right
feels,
stupid.
And that's what's great about America. He has an opinion. I don't agree with his opinion, but
Yeah.
that's his opinion.
I wonder if he does it just to be, you know, for the sake
I
of doing
said,
it.
That's
Yeah.
entertainment.
He's a troll.
He's
not
a troll.
Opinion.
He's a troll.
I can't believe
I'm
Spy
s-
Boy really believes half of the shit that it comes out of his pie
He
hole.
don't. He sits there and
don't.
smirks to himself and says, "Look at how upset I got him." He's probably sitting there with
Yeah.
his boys.
Yep.
Look at how upset I am. Listen to this. Watch me get these people riled up. It's not about riling us up. It's I can't believe you're a black man and you're as stupid as you are. And I don't want to talk about him when he's not on the air, even though I'll talk about him when he's on the air. But either way it goes, stupid is stupid.
You think he was
Stupid is
upset?
as stupid does.
I don't.
I don't think he's upset.
I don't think he's
That's
upset
why I
at
think.
all.
That's why I think
he
he's just
cares
putting
less
on.
what you guys think.
I think he's just
Yeah, I'm
putting
not
on.
riled up.
He don't care what
No, but
anybody
I don't
thinks.
think he is upset.
I think that if he really truly believed all the things that he said, he would show a
He'd be
little more
screaming.
emotional. Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and we're not getting that. So I think Spy Boy sits down and writes
Here's
out
the
some little
problem.
bullet points and comes on here and antagonizes shit out of Alpha.
Exactly. He likes to.
Yeah, I go along with that.
Yeah,
It's to amuse himself.
Yeah.
It's to amuse himself.
Yeah. He calls in so he can try to give Alpha a heart attack.
I know.
Hey, Chris,
somebody
how you
better
doing?
take his blood pressure.
Hey, I'm doing well. How you doing, Frankie?
It's nice to hear your voice, man.
I got a
well, thank
machine
you. I
right here,
appreciate
Carol.
that.
Don't be joking about that.
See, I just upset you.
No, you didn't.
My
I got a blood
children.
pressure machine right here, Carol. As a matter of fact, I'm strapping it on right now.
What's it rated?
And as soon as it put, wait a minute,
He's strapping it on right now. All right.
Let the machine do its work.
All righty.
I'm gonna start a new
A new show called Strap It On?
No, hell no. A new daytime TV show is called Me and My Children.
Yes.
And then the subline is going to be Lord Have Mercy. Me and my sick, twisted cast of characters, my children. I've adopted all of you. I love you as if you were my own. But sometimes
we love you too.
Sometimes I want to take y'all out back and put you across the sawhorse and spank your bad ass.
I look forward to that.
You can't spank Carol because you can't touch Carol.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
touch Carol, no.
No, you can't. You can't touch Carol.
We'll just duct tape her to a rocking chair, and she'll have to watch you guys get punished, and then maybe that'll make her be a good girl. What do you think?
Here's the blood pressure. Carol, here's the blood pressure number. 136/77. My blood pressure is not high. It's not even close.
That's pretty good. Yeah, but you ain't doing shit but sitting there in a lazy boy chair eating cheeseburgers.
Thank you. So why would a fool like Spyboy get my blood pressure up?
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know. He was
about
trying.
My blood pressure, Carol.
Yeah, he's fine. We're all fine.
Yeah.
I do not allow fools to accelerate my blood pressure.
I hear you.
Spyboy's a fool.
Well, see, that's called being cool, calm, and collected.
Stupidity.
Right.
And that was my point with Spyboy, that sometimes these police officers don't keep their cool. They lose it. And sometimes it's out of fear because they've heard horrible stories, or maybe they've had a bad experience with a black man or a black child with a toy pistol. Maybe they just, maybe they had a situation where a kid that was like 12 years old, walked up to him and just pistol whipped the shit out of him. And they gotta get some revenge. So next time one of them little 12-year-olds come around.
It's also the media.
Yeah, I'm gonna blow his brains out.
Or maybe they're just ghost soldiers for the Klan.
Or they just.
Well,
after that,
that's what I was trying to. I hear you. All right, Alpha, thanks for coming in today. We always appreciate you being one of the characters
y'all take care.
in
Carol,
this show.
Chris, Frankie, y'all take care.
Thank you.
Hey, you too. Take care.
All right. And little Frankie,
Yes,
I'm going to tell you one
sir.
time. I'm going to tell you one time.
Uh-huh.
Don't take any chances with that fire up there in Northern California. Okay? Don't take any chances. Keep your eyes and ears on the news to find out which way the wind is blowing, because that can shift around and come right down on you. Even though it's going north right now, it can turn around
I know.
with a change of the wind. So don't take any chances.
Okay.
You promise?
I promise.
All right. If you don't, I'm gonna send Alpha up there on you.
Oh no! Send Speed Boy or whatever the fuck his name is.
Speed Boy. All right. You be good. And Chris, thank you. I'll talk to you in a few minutes. We're gonna do some work on your computer.
All right, looking forward. Also, real quick, I do agree with your new upcoming show, Me and My Children, the Bovine Edition.
Exactly. Thank you. I like that.
All right.
Hey, Carol, are you coming in tomorrow, or we will be without you? What's up
I
with
don't
you?
know yet.
Oh, okay.
Depends on how I
All
wake
right.
up.
All right. Call the FBI and let me know. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time. That's noon Midwest time. And on the East Coast, 1 p.m. If you live in the mountains, you figure it out. Till then, God bless, be kind, and be careful.